Alright guys, so starting off with the shock sensor. This one, if someone hits your car, it's going to set off the alarm. So pretty much good to have someone bumps into your car. This one's a digital tilt sensor. So if someone jacks up your car to possibly steal your wheels or a shady tow truck, this will set off the alarm. Next up is going to be a motion sensor or proximity sensor. This one's good for any convertible vehicle. Possibly someone cut open your top or soft top Jeep, gets their hands inside. That will pick up motion and set off the alarm. And this last one's a glass break sensor. So if impact sensor doesn't work, this one picks up the frequency of glass and will set off the alarm. There's way to break glass without the shock sensor picking it up. So that's also a very good choice to have on a car. Alright, so here's a quick breakdown of everything. Here's the shock sensor. This is our main purchase. On the back, labeled what wire goes to what, in case you get lost along the way. The shock sensor comes with the pod. Now the pod's the most important part. It allows us to integrate into the factory alarm system. Very easy to install. It's a 3-wire hookup. You got ground, you got constant, and you got ignition. So it works when the key is on or off. The other side, we're going to have a blue and green wire. The blue is what's going to send out the signal to the factory alarm, and the green gets disregarded. The green is a warning signal, and that's for aftermarket alarms. Factory alarms don't have a warning, so we just disregard that. Now, one thing I want to mention is if you want to use, let's say, a tilt sensor instead of the shock sensor, you're going to notice there's 4 pins on the shock and there's 3 pins on the tilt sensor. I'll show you how to tie it in a second. It's very easy, but pretty much we'll use the harness that came with the tilt sensor, and we're just gonna tie it right in. Same with the glass brake sensor. It's also a 3-pin harness. Same concept. I'm gonna tie it right into it instead of the shock sensor. And here's how everything works. To test everything, all we need is 12-volt constant and ground. We don't need ignition because we want to tell our pod right now that the car is off, so we need it working. So starting with the shock sensor just detects any impact depending on how you adjust the sensitivity, and it sends out a pulse. That pulse we're going to use to send it to the car to tell the car, hey, one of the doors opened. And the doors really don't open, but you're just tricking the car into telling the alarm that one of the doors open. Simple as that. Now let's say instead of the shock sensor, you want to use a glass brake sensor. It's a 3-wire hookup, and I'll show you how easy that is. Now, I'm going to T-tap it. You can connect it any way you like, but it's very simple. You're pretty much going to disregard the green wire on the shock sensor harness and use the other 3. And you go color for color, blue to blue, red to red, and the black goes to the orange. That's it. Simple as that. Now you have a glass brake sensor on your car. So if somebody tries to break the glass with some type of tool and your glass shatters, sending out a pulse, same thing. It's telling your car, your factory alarm, hey, a door open. That's all it's saying, and the alarm's going to go off. 3-wire hookup, very simple. Same concept for the tilt sensor, since it's a 3-pin harness. If someone's jacking up your car or towing it away, the alarm's going to go off. The loops just cut off a sharper signal on the tilt. Here's the proximity sensor. And for this one, it's a 4-pin harness. Very easy. Same thing, we disregard the green wire and we use the other 3 wires. And same exact thing, we go blue to blue, red to red, and in this case, black to black. Now I'm already moving, so it's already going off, but as I wave, it sends out a pulse, and same exact thing. It's just going to tell the car, hey, a door opened, and set the car alarm off. It's also adjustable. Now as far as the car, this is the driver's door trigger. You can grab any other door trigger, but today this is what we're going to use to tell the car alarm that the door opened. You can also use the trunk if you'd like, and in some vehicles you could use the hood. Now you can take a look right behind the panel to see what wire color it is, and then perhaps just trace it down and find it a little bit closer to the front and just test it. Now I'm gonna get started here and pop off some panels and just fly through this because every vehicle is different. But what you want to do is just get to a source where you can grab your power wires. In this case, I'm gonna go to the ignition. So I'm gonna need to take off this clamshell to get there. And here's our ignition wires. Now we got some tagged wires already, looks like, but we're just gonna go ahead and test for our own wires. You just ground one side of your probe and probe away. Right off the bat, 12 volt. So we'll go ahead and tag that one. Now we'll grab our key, test for ignition. Let's probe the next wire down. Boom. 12 volts, key on, key off, key on. So we'll go ahead and tag that wire as well. Now as far as our door trigger wire, I already tagged it, but all I can do is show you how to test for it. Now what you want to do in this case is set your red probe on a constant wire that's 12 volt live. And then the wire that you're testing, this is what you want to look for. With the door closed, you want 0 volts. Okay, so I'm pushing the pin right now as if the door's closed. And when it opens, it sends out a negative signal, basically grounds the wire, and you get 12 volts. Now this is a different vehicle, same concept. You can see which wire color it is and trace it closer down. But I want to show you how to test for it in case you don't have a push button type. You may just have a door latch, in which case you can still find the wire somewhere inside of the kick panel area. That's where it's going to end up. And the way you test for it is very easy. With light pressure, you just latch your door and you should get 0 volts. And when you unlatch it, same thing. Just sends out negative signal. You should get 12 volts on your meter. And that's it. You can grab the rear door, and again you can grab the trunk also. Make sure you always test your wires, by the way, that they do trigger off a negative signal. Also, some manufacturers like Ford and GM, if you grab the driver's door, it actually sets off like a half-fast alarm for about 10 seconds before the actual alarm triggers, in which case you want to grab any other door or the trunk. If you have a Ford, by the way, Fords operate a little different, but I got a video for that one. You can check it out. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Once you got your wires, you just plug and play. You got your constant ignition, got a door trigger, got my ground, and let's test away. Now here's the shock sensor. We see I just closed the door right now, and boom, it's telling the car that the door's open. You see the door's closed and you get impact. So we know it's working. Now we can do the full test. Now I'll just go ahead and lock it and speed it up. Set the alarm here instead of waiting 30 seconds. Just about done here. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and bump it. Someone hit my car and see if it goes off. There it is. That easy, guys. That easy to install any type of sensor onto your factory alarm system. Now here's a different car. I'm just going to do constant ignition also, just to kind of run through them, but I'll be able to test them on this car also. Plug in my shock sensor, get it ready, close the door. There it is. So it's saying the door's open. It's even setting off the dome light as if the door's opening. Now when you ready to mount the shock sensor, you want to put it somewhere centered. If you put it too far to the left in the easy axis, you might think, but it won't pick up the shock anywhere else on the car, or at least not as well. So you kind of want to center it, that way it's picks up evenly around the car, and you can adjust it, by the way. So now let's go ahead and swap it out to our glass brake sensor. Now that you got I got it T-tabbed here just to swap it out, but remember the connections. Simple 3-wire hookup. Close the door. There it is. The same thing. Saying the door's opening. Here's on the first car again. Same thing. Shake the key. So anybody interested in adding a glass brake sensor, that's how easy that is. Now here's the tilt sensor. There it is. Certain tilt. And it takes time to settle, by the way. Don't think just by moving it crazy it's gonna go off. It's got to take time to settle so it doesn't send out a false alarm. That's the other car. Same thing. Alright, last but not least, motion sensor. Same thing, 3-wire hookup. We'll just swap them out. And then on this one, I'll do the full test. I'll go ahead and set the alarm. So it's got all that set. Close the door. I'll go ahead and test it. See it's working. And set the alarm to give it a full test. Now go ahead and speed it up for you guys. But I'll move my hand around. I'm trying to steal something or reach in and steal a laptop. There it is. So if you want a proximity sensor for you guys that got soft tops out there, that easy. 3-wire hookup, extra security, digital tilt sensor, shock sensor, or the glass brake sensor. Cool guys, well there it is. You see how easy it is to install it. 3-wire hookup, last wire goes to your car, and that's it. A few dollars gets you a lot of extra security in my opinion, and it's very easy to install. If not, you can still get it done at a shop, but at least you know you can do it without having to add a whole aftermarket alarm system to your car. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'll try to keep these little videos coming out. Thanks guys, peace.